You are now listening to TDL on silverandblackpride.com.
This play used to be run with Henry Ruggs, and we got Darren Waller on the choice route, Hunter Ripper on the shallow. But I want you guys to watch Tyrann Mathieu here, okay?
You see the ball is out here. He's breaking on the ball. I think if he got a little closer. All right, take us away, Marcus.
All right, everybody. We are back. It is Taped on Live. It is your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you dislike it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you dislike it. I did want to say one thing about leaving the comments. Make sure that when you guys are trying to break down what we break down. I mean, you guys got to come here to the channel because we're a film channel. So you come here to learn from us, right? If you think you already know everything, you don't have to come here. So that's kind of my message for the day. I'm just keeping it real. So we're a film channel. We do everything. No narratives, no opinions. Everything's all based on film. There's no bias. There's no nothing, right? So come here. Come to learn something. Or figure out what's going on. But if you already know and you already think you have it, there's no point in coming here and arguing with us. So that's my message.
Hold on, I saw you. Were you going after Dubois today? Josh Dubois on Twiter. Did I see
Josh
that?
Dubois, he don't want no smoke with me, bro. I don't even worry about Josh. That's why it's funny. When I was trolling about the defense the other day, and some dude added Josh, try to call the stat police on me. He's like, Josh, help me. Help me, Josh.
Really?
Josh don't want no smoke with me, bro. Josh probably nah, I'm good, bro. You got y'all have your phone with Marcus over there. I ain't entering this.
For those of you who don't know, okay, Marcus was able to gain access to the same tool that Josh Dubois uses to spin all these stat narratives about the Raiders and Derek Carr and everything like that. So it's really easy, honestly, if we're being completely honest, to just find stats, lone stats that make a quarterback look good or make a quarterback or anyone player, defense, quarter, you can find stats that make them look good, stats that make them look bad. So that's what Josh Dubois does. So then Marcus goes and adds a little bit more context every once and again, and they start going back and forth, but it's all good. It's all good. Marcus and Twitter battles, Twitter beefs. Okay, it's hand in hand. Marcus is ready for smoke every time. I feel bro.
Yeah, no. I think sometimes some of these the anti car people think they're bullies. They think they can bully people into opinions. You can't bully me into opinion, man. I'm the bully. Come on, guys. Anyways, but I just want to say that because we get that a lot. People telling us what a read is and what you missed something. Hey, if you look at, didn't you see what you Yeah, I watched this 80 times before I posted it. So I just wanted to disclaimer. That's all.
Yeah, right.
Disclaimer. Anyways, how you feel, BD? How you doing?
I feel good. For people who are tuning in, we got a little bit of a new look. We're testing a new streaming platform. I think it makes it look a little bit more professional. So hopefully the audience enjoys kind of the format and the way that we're doing things. But it's the same old show, right? We're going to preview the Raiders' upcoming opponent this time. We've already have some film, right, from the last matchup, the last time these two teams matched up, right? And this is the first time that the Raiders are going to play another division opponent, for the second time. It's going up against Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs have been on a roll, 5 straight. Okay, it's funny because it's not really their offense that's doing it. It's their defense that's been playing really well. So I'm going to talk about their defense, some of the problems that they pose, obviously on my end. I'm going to also look at a drive from last game against the Chiefs that the Raiders offense went out there and kind of some things that the Chiefs did to stop them and how it's unacceptable. It can't happen. And I'll talk about it, why it can't happen in this game. But what about you, man? Obviously you're breaking down Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. What else?
Yeah. So I'm doing the same thing that you kind of did. I'm looking at some of their games they did. The last 2 games, and then I'm looking at some of the things the Raiders did or how they stopped some of those things that the Chiefs are trying to do, because the Chiefs have basically continued the game plan that they did against the Raiders. They've been really, dinking and dunking and not really trying to throw deep too much with the covers they're playing in, because that's what teams are trying to stop them from doing. So it's a lot of the RPO screen things, but I mean, they ran those things against the Raiders, and the Raiders weren't able to stop them. So I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of how the Broncos stopped some of those things, and I know the Raiders aren't going to try to implement some of those things, but you hope they do. But I'm also going to show a little bit of the Raiders playing too high, and how when they did play too high, they were able to get off the field a couple of times. So, but yeah, man, that's what I'm kind of going over. And then this Chiefs offense is kind of, they're in the same spot the Raiders are, which I think is they basically, I mean, the execution looks terrible. They just look like they're just totally out of sync, and this is, this team with probably, I think is the best quarterback in the league. BD doesn't agree with that, but but I think he is. So
did I ever say that?
No, I just say he's always has some, get a little, he has some side comments. He's a Chiefs player, so I guess I'll take it that way. But they're super out of sync. But it's just funny how they still won 5 in a row. It's just kind of annoying to think about, because they literally look worse than the Raiders. I've been watching the Raiders, so they look worse, but they're winning. I have no idea how they won the Broncos game. I guess the defense just dominated that game, because the offense, they just looked. They didn't look like they did not look like they were good. They should be leading the division. They are lucky that their defense has stepped up and saved their season, because they might be 4-8, bro, if they didn't happen.
Right. Yeah, defense is playing well. It's interesting. I think that they might have gone up against some struggling units offensively. Obviously, like the Raiders was one such of those games. Yeah. But if you look at it, like they beat the Giants, they beat the Cowboys without Amari Cooper. Again, same thing with the Raiders. Like Dallas Cowboys receivers were just dropping passes left and right. So I think that they had like some benefit of playing some teams like they played Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
And they only, how many points did they score? They scored like 13, 14 points.
Yeah, 13 points, yeah.
So, if Aaron Rodgers was there, it's probably a different story. I think if Dallas Cowboys were at full strength, might be a little bit of a different story too. So, or at least a bit of a closer game. So I think that they've, been the recipients of some not great offenses, and that's why their defense is like playing awesome, but Raiders have been struggling on offense. So we can't say, this is a better off. No, we can't say that.
Yeah, exactly. We can't say that at all at this point. So the Raiders have their hands full with this defense. It is what it is. They had their hands full last time. I think it all goes back to the guards in this one. I'm sure you get to show Chris Jones and Jerron Reed and those dudes. So that's really what this game is going to be about, is who can they control those two, because those two last time they basically took over the game. That's why the Raiders really couldn't do anything downfield. They got their butts whipped.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it because we're talking about it right now. You know what I'm saying? So let's just jump into it here. All right. So we're gonna talk about the Kansas City defense. Okay. First things first. This is a defense that really likes to disguise. Okay, like check this out here. Okay, they're showing single high pre-snap. The quarterback turns around. Okay, turns his back on the defense, and then all of a sudden we're gonna get this safety bailing. Okay, so when the quarterback turns back around, if this was a play action pass, all of a sudden it goes from single high to too high. Right. This is what they love to do, and really, it's super important for them because of that to be able to still stop the run when they're playing too high, which is easier said than done. So one way that they do that, you see we got a corner here. Usually, if we're running straight to the side where the corner is, that's a good look for the offense, right? So we see this corner, trigger hard, fast against the run. Okay, 90 gets off his block right there, does a great job detaching, right? So they're very aggressive against the run when they aren't too high, because they do want to keep their safeties high. Okay, again, we get right before the snap, this safety bails back into too high, and now they're going to play cover 2, and Tyrann Mathieu is this kind of deep Tampa 2 buck player, their high hole player in their cover two. But they can't be beat. There are going to be openings. It's a zone coverage. They love to play lots of zone coverage. Okay, this is a look when they like to be in a single high. Again, they'll play zone coverage, especially cover three. And check out this curl flat player. He's going to widen here when he gets that play action. Okay, and just check out how he finds work. He's not content just covering grass. He finds work, peels back, knocks that ball out. Okay, great job. They're well coached. Okay, L'Jarius Sneed, again, playing nickel for them. And when they get into single high, it really just comes down to being able to take these shots on the outside and win. And, you see them, they're throwing it up to CeeDee Lamb on the outside. He just gets strapped by whoever that is, Chuck Hendrick West or something like that. Okay, and I mean, you're going to have to do some play action against this team in order to take advantage. Here we go. We got a play action here. Let me just rewind this a little bit here. We're going to get a play action, and we're going to get, that kind of crossing route because these guys underneath are going to be so fast and physical playing the run. Okay, you got to play action them a little bit, take advantage of some of these openings that are going to open up as a result of how aggressive they are on the second level. Okay. Yeah, and then, the other thing is also just going to be when you are taking a shot, okay, again, this is a team that likes to show a lot of stuff, okay? So when you are taking a shot pre-snap, we see all of these defenders within like 5 yards, okay? So it looks like it's cover one. Raiders have always, every time that they've gone up against the Chiefs in like the last 3 years, okay, 2 years, they get that cover one look. What are they doing? Big post, play action, right? Over the top. Henry Ruggs has scored on him. Nelson Aguilar scored on him like that. Okay, but they're improving. Check this out. They're going to play cover zero. This guy's man stays in the block here. Okay, so what does he do? He's going to go ahead, again, find work, overlap over the top of this. It really should have been one-on-one, alone on the outside, but this guy comes and helps out. Can't catch, save his life though. That was really, really embarrassing. And then you also gotta worry about them as a defense. They do a great job. This is one Thornhill right here. He's playing the robber in a cover one look, and he just does such a good job right now getting in this passing window, finding it, reading the quarterback's eyes, picking that off. Probably a incredibly ill-advised pass by Teddy Bridgewater. And then, they're going to capitalize. They're going to, create fumbles. They're going to take the ball away. They get a lot of turnovers, this team, during their win streak, their 5-game win streak. They've had a lot of turnovers, okay? Now, let's check out what they did last time against the Raiders, okay? This is just one drive. I'm going to show you guys one full drive of the Raiders offense against the Kansas City Chiefs. And you check out, again, they're kind of showing single high here, right? But at the snap, the safety is going to bounce out, okay? So you got to be able to run the ball against too high. And they do it this time, okay? Great run. Kenny Drake, you should have finished that a little bit more, I would say. Got to run through contact. Kenyon Drake. Still crying about tackling rules. Anyways. So, we see here they're kind of going to get gapped out here because their linebackers are going to be so fast and physical here. We're going to have an open gap, and no one is getting into it. They do a good enough job slicing this over, blocking that backside. Really, this is for the nickel to get into this gap, and he's late getting there. So you've got to be able to run the ball against them when they get into too high looks. All right, now check it out. 1st and 10. We just had a good run. What are the Chiefs doing? They're in too high. Again, we got 2 high safeties. That means they're only going to have 7 defenders in the box. Got to be able to run against this look, right? What happens? Gets stuffed, okay, against a light box. And if you're a defense who can be in cover 2 or be in too high and stop the run, that's game over. You've essentially said, we've won this game, right? When you can do that. And you just see them just do such a great job flowing and, finding that ball carrier and fitting, right? Very aggressive play from their linebackers. Okay, so 2nd and 8. Here we go. What's happening again? We're going to get a too high look, right? We should be able to run the ball then. Okay, we go ahead, outside zone.
Don't show this run again.
Completely stuffed. We're going to show it from the end zone angle here. Okay,
I'm having bad
don't
flashbacks
worry.
here.
Yeah, I think this is Foster Moreau. Okay, trying to block Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram just beats him beats him up, Foster Moreau, okay, bubbles Josh Jacobs, okay, and then just completely sheds off of him, hits him in the hole. You got to be able to run the ball against these looks, period. Okay, if you can't run the ball against a too high, how are you going to run the ball against single high, right? You can't, and you're never going to get them out of too high either if they're going to be able to successfully stop the pass. Now, this is where you don't want to be. Okay, look at all these guys. Okay, all these guys just standing around. You don't know where they're going to go. It's a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 9 against Kansas City Chiefs defense. This is not where you want to be in. Again, right, the ball. Look, the ball's here, about to hit Derek Carr's hands. He has to look down at the ball. By the time he looks up, it's going to be another cover 2 look. Okay, post snap, and they get sacked. Okay. The picture is going to always change post snap for Derek Carr. He's going to have these contingency plans. They're going to have some good concepts because they're not going to ever show you what they're going to be in until the ball is about to hit the quarterback's hands. They do such a good job. And then you see here, it's just a 4-man rush, right? And 90 just beats the hell out of, who's that, Simpson?
Yeah, Simpson gets his butt kicked.
Goodness.
Tell you, man.
But absolutely kicked, right? So it's tough. It's tough here. Let me remove this. Okay. It's tough to go up against this team, right? Especially when, the Raiders are a passing team and this defense is built to defend the pass. And it just so happened that they were able to kind of stay in this too high look. And why do you play too high? You play too high to defend the pass.
Yeah.
You do this disguise post snap. The disguise post snap doesn't help the run game. It stops passing games. It makes the quarterbacks continue to process post snap. So if those things are happening, and they're not able to kind of get them out of that game plan, they're not able to make them show single high and stay in single high. Raiders aren't going to be able to take any shots on the outside because I don't think their corners are great. I think that's the weakness. These safeties, Juan Thornhill, Tyrann Mathieu, even Sorensen has been playing great last couple of weeks, right? Yeah. The safeties are the strength of their team with their versatility and their ability to just do all these different things on defense. That's the strength that I would say of their defense. It helps them disguise so much, so well, and then also highlight Tyrann Mathieu, who's a great defender in the NFL. So if they're not able to get them out of that game plan by establishing the run, Raiders have no chance in this one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, you kind of broke it down pretty perfectly. The Raiders have to run the ball against this team, right? But I think the Raiders' problem is they're not committed to the run, and they don't want to. So, even if they're going to try to do some short passes and stuff like that instead of running the football. That's what they've been trying to do. Instead, let's do a screen instead of running the football. Let's do something like this instead of running the football, or get a quick throw to Hunter Renfrow outside instead of running the football. But I think they have to try to bring that identity and do some more power concepts and stuff like that and try to run the football. But they're not executing the run game right now. And like I said, even against the Chiefs, there's a lot of holes against the Chiefs that they just missed, right? I posted that Randy Moss thing about when he was on the Patriots and he was on the Raiders, and he's talking about his whole game was off because he got traded and he was hurt and he couldn't understand why he got traded and his whole game was off, so he's dropping passes and stuff like that. It makes you think about the Raiders team. They might be going through the same stuff. That might be why Josh Jacobs is missing holes more than he normally would, because he's missed holes before, but never this much. It's never this bad. So it might be a little more mental. If they can get their heads right and then getting their heads right in this game, man, they might be able to figure out, might be able to run the ball and run it effectively. But they got to get their heads right to execute some of these game plans so they can go in there and maybe steal one. But they're gonna have to be there mentally right, or this is gonna be another ugly performance. Oh, you're on mute, BD.
Yeah. It doesn't help that this team, the defense at least, is playing their best football at this point in the year. They started the year off really rough, and then being able to make the changes that they need, stopping the run. I would say, is what's really helped them, them being able to stop the run, especially when they have a light box or out too high. That makes this defense really go right now. It's definitely helping out. The other thing that you were talking about with the screen game, you can't screen this team. They do a great job. They have a really great attention to detail. You saw these guys, they don't cover grass. They're running, they're finding work. But they're a really well coached defense. Magnolia does a good job with these guys, teaching them like the finer details of the game. And, when I'm going through, I watched like 5 games. No one was able to screen this team effectively. Like they were all over it. So yeah, I think get out of these, little screen passes that they're doing, and use it as a changeup. Don't use it as like their base, like first down play. Like use that as a changeup, from time to time. But yeah, I think they're doing a little bit too much of it. Anything else that you want to talk about from the defense?
Because you did bring up screens, and the Raiders. What the Raiders started to do when they started moving the football, and the Chiefs started running a lot of fake ones. So I don't know if maybe you come out. I mean, they have a lot of screens on tape right now, and even when they run fake screens, it works. They ran one against the Washington, and they got a nice little play for Renfro on the fake screen, right? So they have those plays. I think these guys start running from the beginning. I think they should run some fake screens from like the jump, like a couple first plays. Because teams are going to be biting up on them. They're expecting them to come out and run a lot of screens in the first, second quarter. So they start off with some fake screens and try to make some big plays. I think they can get some big plays out of it early on. Especially, Tyrann Mathieu, he's going to jump those things like crazy. So I think you can play on that and get some openings and, get some good throws.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. So before we transition over to breaking down the offense, the Chiefs offense, let's just do a real quick word from one of our sponsors, and we'll come back in 15 seconds.
Hey, fellas, this episode of Tape Don't Lie is brought to you by our favorite producers of grooming tools, Manscaped. The global leaders in below-the-waist grooming are leaving 2021 with a new product. Clean yourself into the new year with their ultra-premium body wash. Also, special offer alert, use the code TDL for 20% off, plus free shipping at manscaped.com. 4 million men already trust Manscaped. Time to join them.
Alrighty, bro. So we can just jump in to your segment whenever you're ready here.
Let's do it.
Talk about the Chiefs. They've been struggling a little bit on offense, I would say.
Yeah, they've been. That's very nice of you to say. Actually,
it's a nice way of putting it. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice way of putting it. All right, can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so let's start off with the run game because it's kind of funny. We're talking about how the Raiders can't run the ball against too high, right? But Chiefs can run the ball against too high, and they do it really well. They just don't, which is hilarious. So let's check out. And they got CEH is back. So with the first time they didn't have Clyde, right? So what we see here, we see duo, right? They love to run some duo, some power duo. Usually you see duo is when they start off to the strong side A gap. So you see that he's going to the tight end right here. You got 2 tight ends right here. These 2 bad boys. And that's how you know it's duo. If it was inside zone, it'd be the other way. All right. So that duo, look at CH, big old hole. So you got Humphrey right here, double teams right from him and 62. Then of course you got Trey Smith, the big boy right here, and then him and Wiley. And Trey Smith is a beast, right? So that's why there's a big old hole right here in the middle, right? For Clyde, does nice patience, finds it, gets 10 yards, right? I'm telling you, this run game is super effective. Here, another little 4 or 5 yard run right here, right? A little counter with the power, right? Get the guard on, a little pull. And CEH, he's a little slippery guy. He has really great vision. Okay, I know he's not the best red zone guy. You have him on your fantasy team, you're pissed off. But as a runner, he's a really good runner, right? He's great vision, finds holes, plays behind his pads for being a small guy, and always gets those extra yards. And of course, the screen game. CEH, that's what he loved to do at LSU. He's great vision, like I said, hard to take down, makes that screen game work really well. All right. And saying they'd like to run the option game with him in the red zone. Patrick Mahomes give him a little juke right there. And of course, he got a penalty for the flag on that one, right? Now, like I said, it's just a great run team. It's just weird. Like, right, they're saying he did miss a hole on this one, right? There's a hole right there. He kind of missed it, but There's a little bit of a hole right there. He sneaks in. He still gets 5 yards. And, this run game is super legit. All right. This is a very, very legit run game. But just watch how Michael Parsons plays this option. I just showed this. It really has nothing to do with anything. I just was like so amazed how he just destroyed this. Look how he's got both of them, right? I'm sure he probably could have went and got CEH right here. Oh, no. Patrick Mahomes can't do it. Lost him the play. It's going to become like a Michael Parsons thing and pretty soon, but we'll get there in a second. All right, and this, like I said, then we get a little bit of zone run here too, right? Get a little zone, and then Williams does a great job bouncing it. So I mean, their strength of this team is the run game, and they just don't do it. They're big guys inside. They're great players. They just do not like to run the football. And it's just it's crazy to me. It doesn't make any sense how they just don't like to do it. But hopefully the Raiders, they don't decide to run the ball over the Raiders, because it might be a long day for them. All right. So let's talk about the RPOs here, right? So we got the RPOs that they like to get going here. So this is one the Raiders used to run this one as well. So you see right here, usually with this RPO, Patrick Mahomes is going to be reading this defensive end right here, number 59, right? And you can see a little kind of curl right here and then an out. Okay, so that's basically how he's going to read this, right? So we'll watch it. Patrick Mahomes, the RPO, boom. Let's bring it back just a little bit. Boom. All right, so you see how he reads that really quick, but you see how he read that? RPO, and like I said, this is one of the favorite RPOs, right? So now we see a different version. They go to the flat, they leave the hitch open, boom, hits it quick, almost score a touchdown. And this is something they love to do. They love these RPOs, and this is one of the only ways they're moving the football right now. So that's why the Raiders have to be ready for these, because this is seriously the main way that they're moving the football is through these RPOs, because they're struggling in the pass game so much, So, I mean, they're going to try to find ways to get these plays executed, right? And you see another one, same thing. Boom. This time he's hitting Robinson against the Broncos, right? So these RPOs, man, they're happening over and over and over again. And, it's a big part of their offense right now. And the Raiders have to be ready for everything, all these RPOs, because I'm being serious, guys. This is like the main way that they're moving the football through the air. And you see they ran one against the Raiders, so we'll bring it back right here. This one's more of a slant though, right? But kind of the same. So let me stop here. Right here. Boom. All right, so he's reading that defensive end, right? But he also knows he's got a great matchup over here. He's got 2-on-2, right? And you got Tyreek Hill and one guy. You're taking that, especially when they got single high. These guys aren't getting over there, right? So he picks it up, great matchup. And of course, Tyreek Hill makes one guy miss, gets 9. Easy 9 yards, right? And you know what the Raiders, you want them to be out of schedule. You know what I mean? You don't want them to be in schedule. So it's something that you don't want them to do. Sorry, not the Raiders, the Chiefs. You don't want those Chiefs to stay on schedule. You want them on 3rd and long so you can get too high and have some chance to get them off the field. Because if you're still in single high and it's first down, it's gonna be a long day for you. But I mean, their weakness for this, really, the real weakness is the outside, the tackles, right? You can get some pressure on these guys. You see Michael Parsons. He just kind of just tore this team up himself. See it right here, once again. Right, look at the bend right there. That dude's just special, right? But Wiley, I mean, we all saw what Max Crosby did to Wiley last time. It was just a bloodbath. And Orlando Brown's not too much better when it comes to pure pass protection. He's not with Lamar Jackson anymore. You can get around him. I mean, he ran a 5.8. He's not the most athletic guy. You see Michael Parsons go right around him for a sack, right? So, I mean, Yannick Ngakoue and Max Crosby, they can get some pressure on these guys. And even the Broncos. Here's the Broncos against Wiley, right? 91, straight up pressure, right? Causes an errant throw for Tyreek Hill. He had Tyreek Hill wide open on that play, right? So there's tackles. Their tackles are not very good. And you already saw Max do this with a spin move, you know what I'm saying? almost got there, but I'm saying their pressure, they're going to be able to get pressure on these guys. All right. And, another thing they got to do here, guys, they got to stop Travis Kelce. Okay. Travis Kelce's this whole team at this point. I mean, Tyreek Hill is there, but with the way this offense is going, if you can't stop him underneath, it's going to be a long day. And I really hate how they trolled the Raiders with this one. This is a Raiders play. The fullback sale here, tight end sale. I showed this on the Carfax. They did this with Kenyon Drake last week.
Yeah.
Just trolling, bro.
What's really funny is that every team has been doing that against the Raiders since then.
It's trolling them, bro.
The insert with the Y or the H, insert.
Yeah.
In the passing game. Yeah. I see.
That's funny. Yeah. And then, of course, he was getting away with these little chip blocks, right? The Raiders got to be ready for this stuff, too. I mean, we can't have these ugly little underneath passes. You got to make this team play downfield because these guys are out of sync. Watch. So we got the choice route right here, right? So, we're going to see Justin Simmons up here. He's going to come down. He's going to match this, right? He's going to come down. And he's going to take Travis Kelce, right? So, right, he's going to come down. He's got Kelce one-on-one, right? And this is a choice route. And Patrick Mahomes is expecting him to sit because of how far off Justin Simmons is. But he goes inside instead. Missed it. I mean, these guys are off. Okay. And now, let's check out how they're playing Travis Kelce all together. So, I mean, the Broncos, that was their thing. We're going to stop Travis Kelce. That's how we're going to shut him down right here. You see this safety right here. He comes off it. He lets Tyreek just go. Justin Simmons, he's reading Patrick Mahomes' eyes. He sees where he's looking. He knows he's not going to throw over there, right? Sorry, that's Justin Simmons right there. And whoever the safety is, his corner safety right there, makes a great play, comes off it, comes down, blows it up. That's
great play.
23. That's a great play, right? And you see it from the backside. So, I mean, everything's about stopping Travis Kelce. Stop him underneath. And, of course, there's more pressure there too, right? Pressure, stopping Travis Kelce, right? That's Kyle Fuller. That's who that was. That's a great play by Kyle Fuller. And, let's go to this next play right here. Little motion. And this is another play that they run with Travis Kelce a lot. They love putting Kelce in the slot right here, and he either goes inside or outside, right? And you saw Jonathan Abram last time. He lost him on this and got beat. But, I mean, you got to know these concepts. I mean, they do this over and over. And every time he is lined up inside, they're going to Kelce. I'm telling you, that's what Mahomes is looking. That's where he's looking right here. He's looking at him, right? But he already notices that this is all locked up. Right. And you see they're in too high here. It's too high, gives him issues, and he's already bailing the pocket. He's got a clean pocket. He's got nowhere to go. Right. So you have to be in the mode that you are going to contain Travis Kelce. I mean, that is the main thing with this offense. If you can contain him, they can't really move the football because Tyreek Hill's the deep guy, right? And they really can't do anything outside of that. Okay. Now, Patrick Mahomes, he's been adapting to how teams have been playing him by using his legs a lot more, right? So you see, I mean, nothing's open here, right? They're switching off coverages. They're playing their man match they'd love to play over in Denver with Vic Fangio. Patrick Mahomes says, I'm going to go. Nice little stiff arm there. Touchdown. Right? And we'll see it from the backside.
Oh, Surtain could have blown him up there. What was that? Did he do a little Kenny Pickett fake slide right there?
Yeah,
why didn't Surtain just go for it, bro? It's your one chance to hit Mahomes. Just go for it.
Right? And then you see here again, nobody open. And he just takes off, right? Nice little stutter fake. Right? And gets first down. And I mean, that's kind of how he's been making up for if things are not open, he's going to try to make them. He's still trying to make plays, right? But especially if he doesn't have a check down, like on this one, there's no check down design. He's taking off, right? And he looks goofy running, but he's faster and more athletic than you think. All right, and then it's single high just does not work against this team. All right, it just doesn't.
No,
it does not. It does not. So you see Anthony Brown. I mean, this is basically like playing the Raiders single high. I mean, look at the Cowboys. This is basically what happened to them. You get Anthony Brown. You just put Deshaun Jackson there. It's the same thing. You just can't play single high against these guys, man to man. You're gonna get burned. You are going to get burned if you play man to man against these guys, right? And you see it's good pocket movement from Patrick Mahomes here. I really like this pocket movement here. You see, didn't panic. Usually it's a little different. That's what I'm saying. He's been adapting to how teams are playing him a little bit, though. He's been a little bit more controlled, right? So you see, usually he just bails here, right? He bails. But he decided to reset, put his feet, bring back in the pocket, gather himself, and actually put a pretty good throw.
There's a chance, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you see how he's adapting a little bit, and he's getting better with the football, right? He's getting better inside the pocket because teams are forcing him to play in there. And, you know, it's a little scary, but they're still have trouble too high. Nice little hitting the crosser there. But like I said, this team is just totally off, especially when they're against these two high teams and they're man matching. You know, he has nothing open, tries to sidearm it, get a little fancy, ends up hitting his offensive lineman in the hand. Watch this, guys. Watch his little sidearm hit his offensive lineman. Look at it. See? Boom, pow. So this Broncos game is like a blooper. It's like a blooper reel. Here you go. Here's the next one. Boom, they're right into each other. Like, look at what is going on these crossers. So I'm saying this team is out of sync like crazy. And, you know, the Raiders have to, you know, they just can't let this team come and look like super clean like this, right? You see too high here. Boom, they're running into each other on the crossers. Everything's all messed up. Patrick Mahomes tries to force it because he's under pressure. Nothing, right? This is all over the tape, guys. This is just ugly. It's ugly stuff. Ugly stuff. And then, you know, you got some of these players just getting locked up, you know, like I'm saying, like, here we go. Travis Kelce locked up. You see the safety come off, right? Watch who's bringing this back. Watch Justin Simmons on this one, bro. Watch Justin Simmons play this, right? So Simmons, he comes down, right? Because, you know, they're showing the little fake screen or whatever. He comes down, but see how he, like, rotates his hips? This is when you have elite safety, man, you're playing like these cover sevens, bro. It's like, it's crazy. He comes back, blows that play up, makes it a tight window throw. Can't fit it in there, right? So I don't know exactly what the Raiders are going to do. If they come out and play single high like they did last time, it might be a little bit of a bloodbath because you got to make him think. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's an errant throw because he's trying to fit that in between two guys. And, you know, if you're playing this, you know, normal cover three, cover one coverages, and you're not matching these things and trying to confuse him, it's going to make him super easy for him because he is an intelligent quarterback. You know, he does bail out on pockets a lot, but and of course they're dropping passes, which they probably want to do this week. But you know, those guys, right? So I mean, that's basically it, man. I mean, there's not really too much difference between how they're playing before and now. You know, like they're playing the same. They're playing the same as they came into the Raiders game. Then when you know, coming into this one as they were as the previous one. They're not any different. They're still out of sync. You play single high, they're still going to burn you. You play it more too high, they're not going to do very well. And they can run the ball really well, but just refuse to. So it's, you know, it all depends on the game plan. If I think Gus Bradley says to eat it up, and, you know, I don't know what safeties are coming back this week. I don't know if they're going to try to, you know, play more Roger Teamer. I don't know what their plan is. Playing more down.
They need a plan. They need a plan. Okay. So here's the saddest part about it. Okay. Gus Bradley had a really good track record against Mahomes.
Yeah.
Going into his first game against Mahomes as a Raiders defensive coordinator. Okay. But previously as the Chargers defensive coordinator, he had a really good, like, consistently holding Mahomes to like his lowest passing yardage outputs of the season, or like the bottom like 5 passing yardage outputs of the season. Did a really good job limiting him, okay, taking away the throws and using a lot of cover 3. Yeah, sure, they'll do it too high. Gus Bradley will go too high against, you know, really good quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong, but even when they were in cover 3, he was making Mahomes check down in the last like previous few years. Okay, Fast forward to the Raiders. They play a bunch of cover 3, and Mahomes just shreds them to bits, right? And like you were saying, you can't play single high against Mahomes. I completely agree with you. You have to play too high against Mahomes.
Yeah.
And make him make some mistakes. But let's just look at this, okay? Since they only scored 3 points against the Tennessee Titans. They lost 3-27 against Tennessee. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've gone on a 5-game win streak.
Uh-huh.
Their offense scored 20 points against the Giants, 13 points against the Green Bay Packers, 19 points against the Cowboys, 22 points against Denver. Okay. So their offense hasn't been playing well, except the 41-point output that they had against the Raiders. That's like an anomaly. Okay. But if you look at the Giants, look at Tennessee, held them to 3. Okay. Look at Denver, held them to 22. These are teams that play a ton of too high, and they play a ton of cover 7. Okay, those teams, right?
Uh-huh.
The Raiders do not play cover 7. A lot of people have been asking me about this. Raiders do not play cover 7. They play cover 4. They just like to play straight zones. They don't do man match and stuff like that. It's not in the playbook. Gus Bradley doesn't believe in having these players perfect a bunch of techniques, right? And because he feels like it slows down their processing time. So he doesn't have a big playbook. Okay, so they don't play cover 7. They're going to have to play cover 4. And cover 5. They like to play 2-man as well. They're going to have to play a ton of those. And going back to all the way in the beginning of your breakdown, if the Chiefs don't run the ball, I think that the Raiders defense might have an okay chance. Okay.
Yeah.
But if they do run the ball, we'll see how long that lasts. But then the other thing that the Raiders defense, regardless of what coverage they're in this year, they've had a really hard time stopping scrambling quarterbacks. And if that's what Mahomes is doing, recently during this 5-game win streak, to take advantage of kind of, some of these, like they're doubling and they're taking away the deep shots and stuff like that. Mahomes scrambling, it could hurt the Raiders defense. So I'm concerned. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because that's what's giving the Chiefs problems is the man match coverages, and Derek Carr, he went on a he kind of broke down man match and cover 7 in his last press conference. It's funny we don't see that, but he really did. He did he started talking. He went into a deep dive into cover 7 and about matching coverages and how teams. Yeah, you think it's quarters and you can stop the clicker and you can think it's quarters, but this guy, he's going to move really quick before I make a decision. So I have to try to see things the way teams are playing us, and they're playing a lot of these man match stuff, and guys moving, and this is a totally different NFL. He kind of went on like a whole complex deep dive into cover 7, which I thought was super interesting. And he was explaining that, how it affects quarterbacks. And that's why it's doing the same thing to Mahomes. Mahomes has to wait a little bit. It's like Justin Simmons, the Simmons play that I showed where Simmons went to go play the screen, but then he sees Kelce coming into his zone. So he turns around and flips it. And then it forces Mahomes to have to try to be precise, because if he misses, then Simmons is taking it the other way. If he's too far ahead, he has to be precise, and then he misses, too high, because the preciseness that you have to throw the football with when you play those type of defenses is tough, and it's hard to anticipate, because if you anticipate wrong, it's a pick. They want you to do these things. They're trying to get you to make mistakes, and the Raiders are playing just straight up defense, and it's kind of makes it a little bit easier, especially for quarterbacks today. I feel like it gives them a mental break. Like when Carr played against the Cowboys, I feel like that was a mental break for him mentally. Like he could, okay, you guys are just doing this. I can just hike the ball. Boom.
Yeah.
Right. It's a mental break. And then, and then he goes, plays the Washington, and Washington's showing this. And then, or they're playing cover 4 on this side, and they're playing cover 2 on this side. And, he's trying to decide which side to go to. It kind of gives you different looks in your brain and makes you slow down and process more.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the point of playing match. And that's why match is such a good coverage to play in today's NFL. And this is why all these NFL quarterbacks are sucking right now, in my opinion.
It's why scoring is down.
They all suck. Sure. They're all terrible. They all suck because they're.
So like it used to be really like the 2 types of defenses that were in the NFL were like the Paul Gunther, Mike Zimmer, Steve Spagnuolo's even in that camp of like heavy cover 2 teams, right? That play cover 1, to stop the run in like 3rd and 1 situations or something like that, right? And then the other types of coordinators were like the big cover 3, and then we've seen like all of Gus Bradley's assistants and Pete Carroll's assistants, essentially, like name it, get jobs across the NFL. And so like Dan Quinn running very similar defense. What those teams have been doing is just working on their disguise. Okay. Yeah. Whereas like now these other coordinators that are coming up, the Patrick Grahams, Okay, these teams that are running a bunch of cover 7, kind of like a Bill Belichick offshoot. Now, like this is becoming a lot more in vogue, and I agree. It's why scoring is down across the NFL because it's just it's a superior defense. If we're being completely honest with you, defensive scheme. It's a superior scheme, but it does require a lot more, like just fine tuning and getting everyone on the same page than some other schemes do. So that's why a lot of teams don't run these looks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I mean that's why quarterback play is down. I mean, if you see a lot of these quarterbacks, and when they go against some of these teams, I mean, like Matthew Stafford played the Titans, and I mean he was confused. You know what I mean? Like he was out of it, and that's why you see quarterbacks even struggle against the Giants, and the Giants are always in games because quarterbacks play them, and they get it's not that they're confused. It's just you cannot be like, okay, pre-snap, this is happening. Let me just make my decision. You have to be a little more patient and try to wait for things to open up a little bit. And, it takes the best quarterbacks in the league to beat those type of defenses consistently. And a lot of them aren't, like even the Tom Brady's of the world. I mean, he was resorted to screens against the Giants. He just says Chris Godwin, and Chris Godwin can't be tackled really on screens that well. So it's a little different, right? And or he's checking it down to Gronk, and the Gronk's getting 10 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little different for Brady against some of these things, but yeah, I mean that's the difficulty of playing some of these defenses, and but yeah,
yeah. Let's just real quick, I'm gonna do a little TDL ad for our Blackout collection, and we'll be right back. It's the Blackout collection. Make sure you guys cop yourself a pair. It's looking real fresh. Marcus already got one. I got some family members who have hit me up, sending me text messages, showing me, sending me selfies with wearing the hoodie or whatever. So holla at everyone who has bought the Blackout collection. We probably haven't hyped it up as much, promoted it as much as we had the other collection. So make sure you jump in there, get yourself some TDL gear. Anything else, Marcus? Before we get out, there's some breaking news. Shout out to the people in the comments. Okay, Denzel Perryman just got downgraded to out. So I mean, let's look at the whole injury report. Perryman's out, right? Waller's out. Okay, and I think there's one other person. Is it a backup player that might be out? Here, let me look at it. Carl Nassib, yeah. So Kuntz is taking his spot. Carl Nassib is out. I think he has an illness or something like that. No, he has a knee on the injury report. But Perryman being out, so let's just talk about it real quick. If this was the Chiefs of last year, and Perryman was out, I would almost say, you know what, that might not be a terrible thing because obviously his strength is not defending the run. His strength is defending run, not defending the pass. But now that Kansas City has kind of like taken on a different identity and they're not as explosive on offense, I am concerned about the departure of Denzel Perryman. We're going to see KJ Wright, sure, but I do think we're going to see Nick Witkowski as well on passing downs because KJ Wright has certainly lost a step. Definitely lost a step. It's obvious why he's not in Seattle anymore. He's going to be able to do fine in zone coverage, but if they need to call some man coverage, you can't have KJ Wright in the game, straight up. So especially not on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like he's going to be gone. It's touchdown automatic, right? So Nick Witkowski is going to get in. I also, I think Devon Diablo played all right last week.
Yeah, man.
He's not a Mike though. He's not a Mike. And Corey Littleton also, I doubt he's practiced much at Mike. I wouldn't be mad at seeing both Corey Littleton and Devon Diablo in the game, but neither of those guys are going to be great coming downhill against the run, most likely. So it's probably I doubt that they're going to be on the field at the same time. I think Corey Littleton, it looks like he's not listed on the injury report. I saw him some clips of him practicing earlier this week. So we'll see how much Devon Diablo gets in. I think he played all right. So I'd be interested to see what the linebacker room is going to look like for sure.
So what do you think about Trayvon Mullen coming back and how big that would be? Because he should be. I think he's going to play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really disappointed that Nicholas Morrow never came back this year. From IR. I mean, it would have been a perfect week. So I think Faison played all right. It wasn't like great. We've seen Trayvon Mullen get beat before too. So I think that it wasn't like a huge step down. Trayvon Mullen is going to be like a slight step up, but I don't think it's going to be a huge step up, especially coming back after like the first time he's playing football in like 7 weeks against the Chiefs. So we'll see how much he plays and they get his legs underneath him. But I don't foresee it being like a huge factor in the game, honestly.
Okay.
Especially who's out there on the outside. It's like their third wide receiver. They always line up Kelce and Hill in the slot anyway. So Trayvon Mullen's not going to even cover these guys. So
So sometimes I just hope Kelce and Hill get hurt, so like the whole elevate your team could just go away. The whole elevate your team because Patrick Mahomes is not elevating DeMarcus Robinson. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
like he's just DeMarcus Robinson just has 1,400 yards. Yeah, okay, guys.
No,
that's so funny.
No, not happen. It wouldn't happen. Yeah, so that's the injury report news. Shout out to the people in this chat. Shout out for everyone who are showing up in the chat. We got some things. Some people asking us for be a little bit more positive. Some people in the chat saying that we're not being positive enough. Have you been watching recently? What's going on? Is there a lot to be positive about?
I decided I'm not being negative to team. I mean, they're kind of. I know they're going through some stuff, and
they're going through a lot.
People try to act like it's not mental, and we want to kill them and all that stuff. That's why I don't know how this team is going to act moving forward because is this like a mulligan? I don't know. So I decided I'm not going to beat. I'll point out things, but I'm not gonna kill anybody anymore, really.
Yeah,
I'm kind of done with that.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah. These guys are. They've been going through it. They've had a lot of stuff. They got through the first one. I mean, the first one was easier, right? It's just your, your coach. You can still have contact. The other one is just worse. That's a lot of thought process, a lot of deep thought. You remember, Josh Jacobs might never see his friend again. At some point. So
right.
There's more like it's a deeper type of thing that goes into it. So,
right. I guess Patrick Mahomes is tuning in. He's saying, "This is someone's chat." I don't know if this is someone's avatar that they. It's interesting. So Patrick Mahomes is watching.
What it's because you're using or trying to use people other than Hill and Kelce, but it's not working the best.
Yeah. So,
I feel you, Patrick. Patrick, I feel you. Exactly.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for
telling us, Patrick, exactly what I'm saying. That you need more help. You do. I've been saying that, and I have a friend that's Chiefs fan. I told him that he said I was crazy. I'm like, what do you mean? He needs it. Yeah. If Sammy Watkins were there, it'd be probably a little bit different. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All you need is like a Sammy Watkins. You don't even need like a superstar. You just need like a Van Jefferson.
Right. They've also been like you're saying, they're just like not in sync. So we'll see. I mean, they got back in sync with the quickness against the Raiders, and they fell right back in their way. So we'll see if the Raiders can come up with some kind of plan on defense that doesn't turn their defense into Swiss cheese. It was pretty bad last time around. All right, Raider Nation, that's it. That's it for the Tape Don't Lie Raiders Film Channel. Hope you guys like this new format. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. The chat was live. Got a lot of arguments going on in the chat. I was noticing that. Got some arguments going on in there, so pretty funny. But yeah, everyone, Raider Nation, we appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Myself at BD Williams 18, Marcus Johnson at the Mark John NFL. We broke down our preview, what we think our thoughts going into this Raiders game tomorrow against the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see if we're right. We'll see you guys after the game tomorrow, like we always do. We're probably going to go live right after the game, right, Marcus?
Yeah, we'll go live.
All right. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that, Raider Nation. We appreciate everyone. Holla at you.
Peace.